Howdy. How's it going? It's me, Animated Fabs. That's what you're getting today. Welcome everybody. This is Sun in Chains, presented by Kobold Press, our Asian fantasy take here at Bad House. We're running it through Tales of the Valiant. If you haven't checked that out, it is an awesome system. You're making a huge mistake without trying it out. You can get actually a discounted copies of like the handbooks through our link. And to get that link, exclamation point TOV book, and you should be able to get a affiliate link that gives you 10% off your purchase. Your purchase through there would also help the channel and get you an awesome book. This is gonna be your finale. This is gonna be your last episode. How we feeling? You guys excited?
Yeah.
Hell
Let's
yeah!
get 'em. So excited.
And let's meet our adventurers, our council members. Let's start with Kai.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. And this is Watson. He's decided to also be here for introductions.
Hell yeah!
He uses he pronouns. And I'm here to play Hoshiro, who is a warlock of the Reaper, who uses he, they pronouns.
Yeah. Big glass cannon over here. Next is Sin.
Hi, hello. I'm Sin. I use they them pronouns, and I am playing Nok, who is she her and is your little friendly wizard artificer friend.
Hell yeah. I believe Mechanist is what we call it in Tales of
Yes.
Valiant.
I think that's the subclass. Yes.
Yeah. And next is Joe. You're muted, Joe.
Whoops. Hello everyone, I'm Josephine Etzger, dog friend. I'll be playing your Spellblade fighter, Jeong Hwa.
And last but not least, Stella.
Hello, I'm Stellaluna on Twitch, stellalunaTV on all other social media. Today I am playing Song. We both use she, they pronouns, and Song is a flickering dark monk.
Hell yeah. Last we left off on Sun and Chains, our investigation about the death of the Sovereign deepens as we get into the meat and potatoes of things. There was a murder, there was poisoning, it was gruesome, and there is foul play detected. Our council members got to investigating. They ended up in Nyok's, I would say, mentor's office, and eventually found certain things that pointed out some weird, odd things towards Celio that gave them the idea that Celio might be doing something in regards to the death of the Sovereign. After confronting Celio, they get ambushed by a bunch of assassins, and once the council members got through most of them, leaving one alive, they learn that I believe they got a stamp that resembles Councilman Orochi's stamp, and decide to question this assassin to see the connection between them. In this dark chamber where they fell through during the ambush, you have this assassin chained up. Celio is there, and Celio says, we can probably do this the easy way or the hard way. There are obviously the hard way gets more results.
We need those results.
Very well. Celia waves his hand, and a brick from the wall jets out, kind of like a drawer. And on that drawer looks like a slate filled with instruments, blades, knives, and such. You're free to use these, or you can allow me to do it.
We have other things to be doing. Take care of it yourself, why don't you?
Fine. Celio starts to roll his sleeves and kind of gently holds the assassin. You see green magic comes out of his hands, and you see some of the cuts and wounds on this assassin close up. It says, "Who sent you?" And a cut is dealt. Assassin howls in pain and says, I don't know what his name is. He just wore a hood. I couldn't make out his face. Didn't tell me a name.
I look at everyone at the group so far. Well, we have a councilman to potentially confront about why the fuck his stamp was in this man's possession. I think we have other things to be doing than just watch.
Shall
Hoshiro
leave this
is
in your capable hands, Celio.
Ilya wordlessly continues the question. What are you doing with the councilman's stamp? Where did you get this? In another cut, he answers, "It's given to us by the guy. He just told us to use these tools to make it seem that the councilman is guilty."
Hoshiro stands and watches all of this. He is bleeding a lot, but doesn't seem to look away. Like he is not so much watching the interrogation, but just watching this man suffer.
During this whole thing, I would say you're allowed to a short rest if you, as you watching this.
Can we smell your blood, Shiro? Does it have a
Probably.
distinct scent to it?
I think it has just a slightly darker color. It smells like blood, looks like blood, but there is something, an ink quality to it.
Tong will step towards you, and she lifts a hand to gently touch her lower lip, and as she does, she smears some of what looks like lipstick onto her fingertips, and she'll move slowly enough that if you want to back away, you can. She'll try to essentially move her hand down from your neck across your chest to find the wound, and she'll cast Cure Wounds.
Amazing.
Another cut is dealt, and he asks, "Where did you meet this individual?" "Underneath the bridge, where the bread, where the bakery is." As you're thinking back, this is possibly where the murder took place, the initial from the previous few days.
Yes, I remember. I will lower my voice towards my companions. When I investigated the corpse, I found traces that he had a trail, and with a flick of my wrist, Song will produce the golden signet ring that she found on the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
I followed the trail, and I know exactly what bakery this individual is speaking of.
Celio
Would
deals
it-
another cut. Oh. And he just asks, do you remember anything particular about this hooded man? And before he answers, Nyok you wanted to say something.
Oh, I was gonna ask the group, so I can also wait after.
No, please.
Be beneficial to maybe figure out who Orochi's political enemies are. I have not been paying attention to that kind of stuff. I think I was supposed to, but I haven't been.
Can we make a check, God?
Yeah. Do we know?
Sure, make a history check, and as you're making that history check, you see the man starts to wane and weaken and almost falls and almost falls unconscious as you see Celio reverses the cuts and they heal and he wakes up again. I guess like a bird, silver bird pin.
Oh.
Like his clothing had like silver details. I saw feathers. It looked like a bird. It was on blue cloth, blue fabric. What did everybody get with their history checks?
Natural 20.
Fantastic.
15.
I think Hoshiro is a
19.
little distracted still from Song's touch, having kind of leaned into it and is coming back to himself because I got a 7.
Oh.
And with the natural 20, I would say political enemies. I mean, everybody in power. You have Dylan, who is definitely one of the biggest political enemies for that, as he is the spy master, but a spy master in higher kind of what do you call this? In a higher position would be able to do a lot more. You have Song Ryu, who would turn this nation into a militaristic nation if they were allowed to. Kaburagi, the beggar. You can kind of think they might have they could vie for it, but unfortunately, like, he enjoys more to be on the streets and he holds more power there than simply grabbing and sitting on a throne. So you can rule him out, but the two definitely give you I would say, like, more of a stable suspicion. And one of the council members, I would say, definitely, let's see, natural 20. I mean, it was public that a Master Zhao, who was a member of the council, Zhao, XHAO, would be Like, there was a public falling out between them based on the policies that they want to enact. So,
Between the Sovereign or High Regent Orochi?
Orochi,
Okay.
there was like a public kind of meltdown between the two of them in one of the council meetings that was only kind of like dissipated by the sovereign. Celia turns to you and, is there any questions that you have?
I will step up to Celio. Do you know anyone who bears a stork? You seem to have some influence in political matters.
Stork. I don't necessarily know of a stork family list. But if it is someone's identity, it should be easy to suss out.
It would be difficult to hide.
Well, it could be hidden. It could be hidden behind a different name. See, I wouldn't be surprised if some of our council members or heads of houses, I wouldn't be surprised if they went by different names as they were coming up into power. See, political climates changed based on the upbringing and let's say background of the person who's trying to climb the ladder. So it's possible that this is an old family crest.
History has a way of being unearthed. Perhaps
This
we
is
just
true.
need to look in different places.
This is true. If it was me, and I'm looking at things, it seems that the next person on the chopping block is Councilman Orochi.
Agreed.
And if it's not, then whoever this is working and can lead you to them.
Hong will turn to Nyok and just flat out say, even with Celio listening, do you trust Master Celio?
I think as much as you trust an assigned mentor, yes.
Can I do an insight check on
Sure.
you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll that. How do I re-roll it? I'll just roll again. 18.
Am I just rolling a deception?
Sure.
I mean, she's not entirely truthful about that.
Tong will bow her head and then look to Celio. Do you have any alibis? Or perhaps any evidence that might dissuade our investigations from pursuing you?
Nothing that anybody else can corroborate with. I understand that puts me in a position that seems to be guilty or suspicious.
It certainly does not help.
Well, if you want to conduct an investigation, then I'm obliged to let you do so.
What is your relationship with the Sovereign?
My relationship with the Sovereign? Well, he defended me once. And you see the assassin is just like, "Can I go, please?" And Celia just punches him in the face. Kind of knocks him out. The Sovereign is a really great. When everybody was against me, he showed them reason that my studies were just as important as everybody else's. A lot of the scientists in the Moonvale cartel believe the same, but I wanted to be on the books, prove my worth, and he's the one that got me the Dragon's Park.
But if he was so gracious, then why did he reject your proposal for immortality?
You see his face sink.
I'm reading everything that I possibly can.
He has been very stoic and very still-faced up until this point. And he just answers, I think he believed that while he did good, that no one person should hold power for as long as can.
Can I roll an insight check?
Sure.
Let's go.
DC
God.
13.
I'm re-rolling that. Okay, 13. Meat speeds.
Yep. He's being. Not only is he being truthful, he is saddened by the fact that he has to remember the Sovereign and that conversation. It seems that his connection with the Sovereign, whatever he's telling you, is very genuine, and that the Sovereign death surely took a toll as well.
There is no empathy on Hong's face as she's asking this. There's a polite smile and her tone is pleasant, but there's no warmth in it. You see, the Sovereign is very generous and, my apologies, was a very generous person.
I wanted to save him. At the very least, cure him of his ills, but he believed that the natural course of things was the right way, and that I should use my magic elsewhere.
Oh, yes.
And if you refute the course of death, it will come for you anyways.
This is true. A lot of times I've seen myself at the other end of the blade. It was always unpleasant. It seems death has tried times, but I've eluded them. And I think losing the Sovereign, I think I understand what he...
Jeong Hwa is gonna stand kind of leaning against the door frame of the dungeon to be like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We're done here.
So, if he thought you should focus your magic elsewhere, where did you end up focusing your magic?
And he falls silent, and he just says, I focused my energy to the younger minds that need you.
No offense, but when?
Well, it seems that we haven't really gotten the time to do so.
It's mostly been food and then saying you have to go.
True. But if I intervene, can you really call it your accomplishment?
I mean, I thought Discovery was about collaboration.
True. But wouldn't it feel much more fulfilling if you got to your own discovery? If you feel that I have yet to offer you any help, we can have somebody else look over you.
I think that's a conversation for another time, maybe. Unless one of the other teachers could maybe be one of those people you have a matching robe with. And like Milk just looks so nervous and is just staring down at her feet.
Hong will actually reach over and gently put a hand on the back of your shoulder in a reassuring and perhaps emboldening gesture.
I can get you finer teachers than this fucking idiot.
Well, he's really good at poison stuff.
I'll get you a literal assassin teacher. I think our conversation has run its course here, Cilio.
Yeah. And that is understandable. There's a lot to investigate elsewhere. If you change your mind and would like another, I'd be happy to sign to a different. I would ask you to reconsider. Maybe I can do better. But I understand.
I'll think about it. Just not making any eye contact.
You
It's
excuse
okay, Hoshiro is making all of the eye contact at Celio that Nyoka is not, because he is just standing there and been unapologetically staring and taking in every word that he says.
And he just says, if you excuse me, I have a body to dispose of. Several. And he snaps his fingers, and the chained guy falls down a trapdoor, and some form of incineration sound just fills. And he starts to walk past and starts dragging bodies to the same tree.
We will find you again, Master Celio. Another time.
Find me.
Indeed.
Perhaps we can share some tea.
Perhaps.
And hand on Nyok's shoulder will gently encourage Nyok to leave and follow.
You start to hear just like just flames being fed flesh.
I think as Hoshiro turns to leave, there is an after image for a moment of a gaunt black face with white eyes still staring at Celio that follows Hoshiro briefly after. Hungry eyes of death. And he follows.
As you leave through this staircase going back to the office that you were in when Celia and the rest of you were attacked. Where do you head next?
I think we've got to go find Councilman Zhao. Is that where we're headed? Or go see if Orochi knows that his seal is missing?
Maybe we could split up?
That sounds fine.
I'm curious to see if perhaps Master Celio's concerns ring true. If so, then perhaps Councilman Orochi is next. I would like to go see him to make sure that doesn't happen.
Nyoki will accompany me either way.
And where would
Yes,
you like
ma'am.
to go, Jeong Hwa?
I haven't paid the Master Zhao any visit since he's not very fun company to keep. Let's go see him, Nyok.
Yeah. And look, just like, so awkward. Oh, before we go, can I give Hoshiro something? Because he seems to get hit a lot. Like, Nyok thinks she's whispering, but is definitely not.
Just screaming, yeah. Do what you must.
She's gonna, like, do that, like, scuttle run towards, like, where her legs are slightly too wide, just, like, running towards Hoshiro. I feel like I maybe messed up earlier with the whole magic on you, so I wanted to give you a different magic thing that maybe works better.
That was new, not unpleasant.
I'm still learning. It's like kind of playing around with luck, but I think really luck isn't something you should play with, but I thought it was a good idea, and I was reading it in someone else's research notes, and I thought it would work, but it didn't.
I'm eager to see what you think is better.
I'm just gonna pull out a little, like, silver bracelet. It is very much like a Kachi-like bracelet that you would see, like, a 13-year-old child, like, have and collect. I don't know if you're very familiar with magic spells and protection. It's kind of like, if you really need it, you can only use it once, though, so far, and it kind of, like, makes a shield for you and protects you.
And you see, as he reaches for the bracelet, he actually uses his left hand to tap his right arm, where he has a full sleeve tattoo. And underneath it, you can see there is actually very intricate kiku like texture. It looks like the tortoise texture underneath all the tattoos. And as he touches it, they kind of woof with a little bit of energy. I'm very familiar with various forms of protection magic. It would be very appreciated.
Okay. And she's gonna hold it out.
And his, like, kind of still bloody hand reaches for it, and it's like this delicate little bracelet in his hand. And he just looks right arm, left arm. He doesn't have any jewelry on, and he just very gently puts it on his left arm.
In the moment in which our hands touch, is there a way I can stealthily scrape some of that blood, having noticed that it was inky earlier, into my own hand?
Oh my god. Probably.
Get harvested.
Yeah, I guess.
Your
Slurps
spell
you.
component now.
Just a little powder pouch of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good luck. I'm not sure How will contact you? Actually, and then she's gonna pull out a little piece of copper wire to hand to you.
Thank you.
If we need to contact you, I'll contact you, but I don't know how to do it the other way around.
I can also. And he pulls the copper wire tight, and you hear his voice in your head speak to you like this.
Oh my god. People were right. This does feel very weird. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know how to say bye. So, and then she's gonna like awkwardly do like a half bow at the waist and just walk back right to Jeong Hwa.
Hoshiro reciprocates with a very like respectful half bow.
You don't need a fucking bow for him.
And as the four of you part ways. Yes.
Before we leave the office, I want to try to get a scraping off of that teacup
Sure.
so I can get the exact shade of lipstick that was on that second cup.
Okay.
Squish, 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 squish. Okay.
Helio, name all the women you know now.
Right now.
Name a woman. Just one woman.
Wait, oh god. Fabs.
Yeah, so as you part ways, where is each group going?
Orochi, Song and Hoshiro, and Master Zhao, me and Nyok are going. But also, I want to talk to Nyok, obviously.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that first. And you're heading over to the residence Master Zhao. Are you guys having a conversation beforehand?
Yeah, but as we're heading there, I think I'm again hailing a far too luxurious caravan, the horse-drawn carriage situation, to make our presence known, perhaps.
You guys are in the caravan? Like,
are you gonna yell at me for not hitting anyone?
No. There are
Okay.
warriors, there are scholars, and everything else. But was that truly what your heart called for? To separate yourself from this mentor, despite his flaws and all the things that makes him unpleasant? Was that something that actually called to you?
You see a really guilty look on Yok's face. No, I think he's a really good mentor. I was just trying to hurt his feelings and thought if I hurt his feelings, he would tell us something important. And now I feel bad because it sounds like he felt bad and it didn't do anything.
The emotional manipulation.
I wasn't
see,
trying to be mean. The song doesn't really cool, and I wanted to be cool like song, and it just wasn't working.
Oh God. Just Jeong Hwa just like shaking her head to herself like Jesus. I see. Well, it is clear that Celio is hiding things from us, having secret meetings. And he is one unit of the Dragonspark Collective. There's no reason, sir. Well, I say there is no reason for him to be entirely truthful to us, but as we are the future of the council, it would be in his best interest. But I understand that the Sovereign had many relationships and friendships in the dark. Celio's loyalty to him. It is admirable. But in every death we must move forward. His job is to be a good mentor to you. And we can talk about what that future looks like exactly. But for now...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Speak.
I do think he's a really good mentor. He helped me find things that I really like doing because... Okay, I got sent here to technically become a wizard and study mage stuff, and then I didn't really enjoy it that much, and then he just showed me how to do machinery things instead and work with my hands, and then also poison, and I thought those were really fun, and he makes going to school really fun, and learning things really fun, even if I have no friends.
Although I would hope that eventually you would consider your social connections. Jeong Hwa honestly takes a moment to realize that she's like being your mom. And it's who knows if it's a situation where Nyok is also feeling that or understanding that. Jeong Hwa just like stops talking suddenly and her brain short circuits.
Did I make you mad?
Focus on what you would like to focus on. That is entirely within your right. I have no reason or business to determine who makes up of your company.
You won't tell my other mom, right?
I haven't spoken to her since you were born.
Okay. Okay, good. I'll be honest, I thought this was some kind of weird get back together thing, and I was just in the middle of it. Okay, this makes me feel a lot better, but also, okay. Nyok also, in a panic, is just gonna cast Mage Hand to rub her back. Just to soothe herself. I'm just
Do I
self-soothing.
see that?
Yeah, I mean, I can see what it is. It's just rubbing my back.
Jeong Hwa feels awful.
And as the carriage slows down, you get to this huge gate of this very lavish manor. It still holds the very Western style castle-like structure when the settlers were here. And you see two guards in front. Do you guys just say anything?
I looked to Jeong Hwa for guidance.
Oh, I apologize. We've made our grand entrance. Jeong Hwa is expecting to be received very well and very nicely.
You see
So
the
I
guards
just
there.
approach.
Yeah, you approach and you see the guards are private guards. These are not guards from, like, your command.
Whatever.
They say, state your business.
To see the Master Zhao.
You have an appointment?
No.
Well, you'll have to wait. Is in a meeting.
I'm gonna do an intimidation check at the very moment to enforce my authority.
Sure. Are you using your charisma or your strength?
Intimidation.
Yeah,
But
or-
if you let me use my strength, I could use
Sure.
something else.
I mean, you can use intimidation, but use your strength modifier instead. If
Either way, it's a 5.
Okay.
18.
18. And you see the other guy just like elbow the person talking to you. It's like, well, yes, ma'am, we can make arrangements. You can enter and we'll send word to Master Zhao to receive you. And
Thank
the
you.
other guy just looks like, what the fuck do you mean? And he just like gives them like a little pinch on the side and just opens the gate. Walk through the gate and you start to hear behind you, "They're captain of the guard, you dumbass. Oh shit." And you are walking through this lovely garden that leads up to the main kind of house, kind of manor. And you start to hear tinkering, kind of metal noises, clinking and clinking. And then you hear a roaring sound. And unlike anything you've heard before, and it's a repeating like
What house is he? Does he represent again?
he's just a part of the council.
Oh, like just Sovereign's cabinet?
Yeah.
Okay. What is his background? Is he a smith of some kind? Like, is there anything that I can infer as I...
His background is he is really into innovation. He really likes the next thing. He likes investing in the next thing. Like, he loves investing in there has been this like socializing service that somebody else thought that was a good idea, that connected people through kind of like message boards on like the town square. And he said, I want to buy this and I want to make it better. Unfortunately, he made it worse. He kind of bought a like a series of banks that made trade much more efficient, but also he kind of got around certain trade laws that kind of made trading worse as well. Made less money for something that you should be using for free. And now it looks like you last heard he was courting this inventor that was creating a carriage with no horse. And he wants to be able to own that as well. The last time we spoke. That's what you know.
I think I have told Nyuk throughout the ride or throughout the walk a little bit about this. Just like perhaps just as unpleasant as the last fellow.
His ex-wife hates him.
Do you think if you want, I could maybe pretend I have some kind of invention for him to look at? If you want to try and like investigate him, I don't know how any of this works.
Only if you intend to part with something as a gift, I would say. That would be the most courteous, I suppose.
I don't. Nyok has like pulls out one of like the vials of like the silver flubber off her waist. I mean, it only really works for me, but he doesn't have to know that.
Shiny thing to look at. I think that'll do something. Come.
And as you approach, nearing what seems to be this open kind of area of the manor, you see this looks like a carriage, a little bit smaller, with 4 wheels, and attached to it seems to be a like mechanism in the back of it. And you're starting to hear a like female voice, kind of like a probably like a help, like an assistant. Says, Master Zhao, you have visitors. You hear as you're approaching or you get into view, Master Zhao says, I wasn't supposed to meet Dylan till later this afternoon. Is he early? And he looks around and he sees you as you turn around. And he's surprised. Jeong Hwa, what a pleasant surprise to see you here.
Putting on like council person all the like charisma that Nyuk has really seen. She smiles pleasantly. I see that you were supposed to have a meeting with Dylan.
Indeed. I didn't notice you heard that. Yes, just a social. Checking up.
Insight.
Okay.
It could be a romantic tone, it could be more conspiratorial, just want to see what the vibe is.
DC 14.
Talked. No, that's a 10.
Okay. He seems genuine. You notice more about his genuine surprise that you're there.
Right.
How may I help you today?
My constituent gestures to Nyuk would love to offer as a small gift for the sudden meeting something that she's been working on, if you wouldn't mind indulging her for just a moment.
Oh, is this person an inventor by chance?
Aspiring.
Oh, and you see him kind of, his shoulders kind of rise, his hands clasped together like slimily, just rubbing his hands together, excited to hear what you have for them. Like, please tell me, what do you have for me?
Nyok is getting nervous at the sliminess, thinking back with the other gentleman who was also quite slimy earlier in these adventures. Just trying to block it all out. She pulls out the little vial. It's it transforms kind of for convenience, and she's gonna like uncork the little vial, and the little flubber is gonna come out, and she'll tap it, and it turns into a ladder like Jeong Hwa has seen before.
Oh my god. Is this... It's an... And you see one of the guys that was working on the carriage. Looks like a all-purpose tool. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I mostly use it right now as a ladder, because I'm short.
Oh, well, that's fine. What would you say are its other applications? Can it be a knife or a chopping board or a I don't know, a key?
Yes, but very generic. So like I don't think it would be the specific key. It would just make a key shape right now, but and she'll touch it again and it'll turn back into like a platform like they had to carry everything.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. This is an associate of mine, Fujimoto. Yes, yeah, this seems very interesting. And your name?
No.
It's really nice to meet you. I'm just here presenting wonderful idea. I had a horseless carriage, and you see next to it is not a carriage so much, but it looks like a bicycle with also a what you can imagine as a motor on it. I deal with mechanics.
Oh, that's really cool. And I was like trying to not act excited. I was trying to stay like focused.
Yeah. Well, I was just presenting this idea to Master Zhao, but it seems that you have business with him. So, Master Zhao, I will leave this prototype over here and return on like a better time. And he kind of wipes his face of like
Yeah.
a little bit of grease, and he goes to the bicycle and starts to kind of kick the side of it, and the motor starts to run, starts to leave the vicinity.
That is really cool.
And Master Zhao's like, indeed, right? This will be innovation for the city. It would be wonderful to have these on the streets rather than, having to pay a bunch of I would say dung scrapers every time horses just relieve themselves on the side of the road. It might be better for our streets having these.
1,500
What-
years from now, there will be thousands of them.
What would they do instead of scraping dung?
Well, they can do better jobs. They can work for me
Like
and
what?
build these things.
Is that what they want to do?
Well, I'm pretty sure that they don't want to be scraping dung off the streets for the rest of their lives.
That's not
It's-
the focus of our conversation,
Indeed.
if you wouldn't
Yes.
mind.
Captain Jeong Hwa, what can I help you?
Could we sit somewhere a little bit more comfortable, if you wouldn't mind?
Of course. And he kind of leads you towards like the sitting room, like kind of like veranda. And he kind of like snaps his fingers, and you see some of like the maids like come with like tea and some sandwiches. This guy really loves Western, like the Western like culture that just was ousted, and you see like more elaborate looking teacups rather than the ones without handles. You see they prepare sandwiches rather than like dumplings and rolls. And you see him kind of, the way that he's dressed is very,
Is he wearing a suit?
not a suit. For this time, he's wearing like a tunic, like, you know, more of like a tunic and a coat. And he's wearing like more like leather footwear.
Roman Empire.
And he says, "Please, what business do you have over here? I normally see around the barracks, and I do understand you are part of the council. Is there any news about the sovereign's passing? Or are you talking to me to maybe take over? I know that you
Not
guys
exact.
were in charge of seceding the power."
Not exactly that far, although we are in having those conversations. Master Zhao, to be quick, I know you have a history of... You had a public history having problems with High Regent Orochi, yes?
Yes. It's more of a personal matter. We just don't see eye to eye. I think there's a lot of good that the Western settlers left here, and I think we should, instead of completely brush them away, I think we should adapt them. You know, it will help. I mean, imagine the ideas of trains. Imagine the idea of, you know, like these horseless carriages. Just, I think we are, excuse my words, a little barbaric in some of us, and I think we can make it better.
Interesting. She doesn't laugh like that, but she just tries to... She's nodding, keeps herself kind of... Like, she can't lie, honestly. Like, a lot of the Steel Legion is also wearing more Western versions of outfit.
Yeah.
So she has a great aesthetic look to at least just nod along the conversation. Yes, can you remind me, I won't be coy, what this particular public outburst was about?
Well, I talked to him about getting an embassy, our settler friends, and maybe open a more of a direct line of trade. At the same time, I think we need them to stave off the Feywild. I mean, a city of theirs was taken. A whole city, a whole town. Not different from the size of Albania. And since they've decided to treat it the way that we probably don't know how to, then, you know, it would be a great idea to have their guidance. Of course, they did have like a lot of bad things that they did in the process of protecting us from the fate. You know, eggs and omelets, you know.
Just looking at my spells very quickly.
Uh-huh.
fireball.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
Like, just to cleanse the air around you. My God.
I am so sorry I brought this guy upon you guys.
No, he has to exist. They were there.
He's gotta.
You're doing a very good job. It is unfortunate, but true.
I take out what looks to be like maybe like a little internal like fabric pouch, a little snack bag. It looks like almost beef jerky and like a little bit of like honeycomb, and she like puts it in her mouth. And it is indeed a snake's tongue because I'm going to cast suggestion here.
Okay.
And I need Master Zhao to hit a DC of wisdom saving throw, DC 14.
Okay. Hey. What are you suggesting? Let me hear what you say.
I lean in, and the intensity of Jeong Hwa that Nyok actually knows. I need you to tell me everything that you find wrong with the High Regent Orochi and thus. Anything that could then put you in a position where you would want to frame High Regent Orochi for any purpose, for any reason.
You see him kind of stare at you and kind of laugh nervously. The High Regent Orochi, well, he believes that we are well off without the Western. We are well off with the Feywild, and I think that it was better when we didn't have all of this that the country was ran by people of industry. I think getting rid of him would be better, because I think it just dampens my plans of stealing this design from Fujimoto and making a lot of money, and I believe Dylan as well would be a better suited leader, as he would be able to utilize his let's say information against our enemies. Wait, why did I say that?
No, indeed.
No, why did
I agree
no.
with you, Master Zhao. Thank you so much for your
No,
information.
guards! Guards! And he starts yelling, and the guards start to come, and they get to a slow jog and see you there, and they look at each other, and because of your intimidation check earlier, they look at Master Zhao, and they just drop their swords, take off their breastplates, and they're like, we're not getting paid enough for this, and just start walking away.
Why don't we wait around for Dylan to come?
Look, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. He's more than capable. I'm just a businessman. I just make the money go around. Please. Please. I'll give you what you want. I'll give you anything you want.
You can't give me everything.
I can give you a lot of money.
You don't think I have a lot of money as well?
I don't mean that. I'm just saying I'll give you more money.
I summon my enchanted weapon from my hand. We're gonna wait.
And as he slumps into his seat, we are going to take a quick break as we move over to our other part of the Thank you so much for joining us here. This is Sun in Chains. We have announcements after this break, so stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Hello. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm Anime Today. How's it going? Welcome back to Sun in Chains. Sorry about the weird fucking technical difficulty. My computer loves to ask me to restart sometimes. But we're back. Nothing happened. You guys are still here. Thank you so much for joining us. Have you gotten a copy of Tales of the Valiant yet? No? Well, !TOV gives you the link to get 10% off of that sweet book. Any purchase from Kobold Press, actually. So if you want to get like the monster manual that they have, like they have wonderful, awesome designs of monsters there, both mechanically and thematically. So if you want to spice up your what do you call this? If you want to spice up your campaigns with that, that's a way to do it. And I don't know why our captions aren't coming in. Being a little weirdo. Ooh, my captions are coming in. Oh, I know what. I will fix that. But while I do, how about we listen to Joe with the announcements?
Okay, so Bad House RPG announcements. Thank you for 500 followers on Twitch, everybody. Bad House's Grindhouse anniversary one-shots are going to close out this Friday, tomorrow, February 28th, with Liminal Horror, GM'd by Ambrose, lovely, beautiful cast member of Midnight Rush. The cast members also on that show is going to be Latia, Calamity, Binar, and Dimples. We will be giving away a set of 6 physical copies of official Liminal Horror modules, so you will definitely want to be there. Midnight Rush continues on Tuesdays. That's our Hunter the Reckoning show with me, Stella, Ambrose, and Laurel Rothamel with Fabian. Storytelling, that for us. Slumber is our Wednesday Liminal Horror series facilitated by Oleander at Stray Nerdboy, where we also have regular giveaways of official Liminal Horror modules. This is Sun in Chains, and as always, check out Bad House RPG's YouTube to find VODs of our other series. We are on a backlog at the moment, but you will find the Darkness Eternal series up to date. Those are all of our announcements.
Hell yeah! Oh god!
Oh my god!
As soon as I as soon as I tried to speak, I all of a sudden like choked on my own spit. But yeah, additional announcement to that, on Tuesday, we have guests Latia and Maisie Lynn. So if you guys want to check out what they're doing on Midnight Rush, you should check that out on Tuesday. Or if you don't want to wait, get it a day early through Patreon. As low as $5 can get you Patreon early stuff, early access stuff. And you're gonna want to get it because this summer, we have a lot of pre-recorded audio only stuff that are coming early on that platform. So give it a check out. Maybe support the channel. Anyway, last we left off, we started pretty strong with a interrogation scene with Celio, the council members, making it pretty clear that they don't really trust him. He doesn't mind though, it's fine. He's pretty weird, he knows that, and he understands. But through the interrogation kind of gave them leads, one of which, before we left for break, was Master Jeong. Master Jeong, who is who likes to believe that he is a titan of innovation, and he let slip some of the plans that he had with Dylan. And now we're moving over to our spy assassin. You guys head over to the bridge that the assassin mentioned. There's a lovely bakery there. It is called Han Wang's Buns. And they really have really good different types of buns. Pineapple buns, sweet buns, salty buns, pork buns, all of the dim sum you can think of. And they have also other treats from different nations. You see a line going out outside of it. Not too much of a line, but there are pretty small space that accommodates a few people inside. You easily spot bakery there. What are you guys doing in this area?
As we're walking, at least, Hoshiro has been wiping his face off, his hands off, because he got very bloody, both his own blood and the blood of multiple assailants. And is trying to look more like he should be walking around in public.
If that's the case, then Song might divert the two of them for a moment, perhaps to a nearby well or a nearby fountain, or even if it's on the way back to the Red House, and is essentially going to unceremoniously grab a bunch of water and dump it on you.
A sopping wet Hoshiro wonders why, but
No, they know why.
yes, they do. And as you do so, do you try to investigate the area of the bridge, or do you go straight to Councilman house residence?
We would stop by the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Roll me perception checks.
especially because it will take some time for you to dry out.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think as he's walking around and looking, he's also like wringing his layers out.
What is up with my rolls? I think I have one more reroll.
That's a 19 from me.
Okay.
17.
Okay. With a 19 and a 17. You see, apart from the bakery, you notice that there's nothing much to see around the bridge. You have like a bunch of trash maybe to the side, and like a bunch of debris from, just like erosion of like the side of the road. And you go around, and with a 19, I would say, as you're passing by the bakery, there is a portrait that you clock with somewhat your eagle eye senses, keen senses, see this portrait in the back of the counter. And it's a family portrait. And you notice, I don't know if you point it out to Song, but you notice that there is a familiarity of the face of the youngest boy over there. The boy is around like maybe 15, 16 years old in the picture. And
Yeah.
you can't quite clock the familiarity, but there is that feeling.
Yeah. Definitely the moment that he sees it, he kind of stops and I think tries to disguise it as looking at all the food in the bakery, but very subtly looks to Song, and then his eyes look straight to the picture, knowing that their eyes will also probably be able to follow his easily.
When you come to a stop, Song will actually like fuss over your appearance and help you wring out some more water. And perhaps that is why she isn't immediately looking in that direction, but upon noticing, looks over and clocks it too.
And when you see Song, you notice that this looks awfully a lot like your mentor, Fabian.
There's a look of recognition on Song's face, and her lips pull tight. She doesn't say anything
I think Hoshiro lets Song kind of ring him out. And as that's happening, because I believe he's the one that took it originally, he produces that button, that silver button that was found under the bridge where the guy was fully murdered and pushed into the river before, and just kind of puts it in his palm and then puts his thumb over it, like not trying to hide it from Song at all, and goes back to looking at the picture off and on. And over the span of hopefully a minute, I would like to use a strange ability that I have for being scrutinous. When you spend a minute or longer examining an object or for fine or hidden details, you can ask your GM one question about the item and they must answer truthfully.
Okay. The item?
Yeah.
The item that we're talking about is the button. I don't think you can find anything peculiar about the button, but something that you... Oh, yes? Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted for...
Oh, I muted myself. That was me. I will take something for what you were gonna say, but I was actually thinking about the portrait. But
okay, so for the portrait, you can't really see something, but what you can see is in the back there are curtains going to what you can assume is the kitchen, and there is a motif to this, I would say, bakery. It's the sky. And on the curtains, you can see a recognizable bird, stork. Two storks meeting in the middle of the parted curtain.
Having recognized my master on the portrait, am I able to discern or do any details sort of click into place with our investigation so far?
I mean, they're storks. If you remember correctly, a lot of Elan's attire feature birds. Or sky motif.
Yeah.
Do I have any, just off of rip, any inclination of what my master would have to gain if he was responsible for taking out the sovereign?
A lot of power. A lot of power. Do you know that your master is probably the one that holds the most information in the city, apart from Kaburagi the beggar? Everything about whose family is who, about who has children out of wedlock from one of the council members, who has ties to whatever country. That is something that he holds over the city. And the thing is, he only uses those based on what the council deems to be proper use. This information.
Right. So he hasn't historically been someone who can be puppeteered by a single person. It requires the whole council to make those decisions.
Exactly.
Okay.
You probably even remember a moment in time where he wanted to use some information against one of the council members to oust them, but he was told not to because it will destabilize the council.
Did I ever hear rumors of those sort of things leaking by any chance?
No.
Okay. Knowing that, Tongue will turn towards Hoshiro and pretend that she's fixing his hair, her hands going over his shoulders. She leans in and she'll whisper, that is my master in the portrait. I did not realize that he has ties to this place.
And though he thinks he could whisper a similarly quiet tone, he just gently points towards, almost imperceptibly, Song, and in her head she hears, "Do you know if your master and this bakery have any ties to the craft of death, besides what you know already?"
Information kills people. It is entirely possible.
This button, there was blood near it. Body. Death.
Perhaps we should investigate this place. There are far fewer people.
Or we can do it now. And with that, he kind of straightens himself up, and in doing so puts his hand first on Song's hands on the back of his head, and then from beneath his ear he pulls that little spot of ink from the back of his ear and summons Zencho, his raven, not far. And is actually going to transform Zencho into, where are all the options? I know how this works. Maybe I don't. Aha. To send Zencho in as maybe a rat.
See a skidding rat running into this bakery, unnoticed by the people in line. You start to also realize that, like, while people are in line, they start to talk. And people just gossip when they have the time.
Oh, ears turning towards them immediately.
Yeah, you hear about, like, someone cheating on their wife with, you know, one of their coworkers. Like, a very basic gossip.
I suppose Tong would try to link arms with Hoshiro and navigate towards a bench or somewhere that they can sit down. And we'll just keep an ear out to the various conversations as we're walking.
I would say for a while you keep your ear out and nothing really of use. Maybe perhaps if you went inside and were running the bakery, you might get more information. But like just sitting down and waiting might not get information that you information nonetheless, but whether it's useful to your investigation, I don't think it will.
Okay. With that, Tong will detangle herself from Hoshiro and begin to walk away, essentially leaving you there. And will literally just go into the bakery, passing the line.
Well, there at this point, the line has subsided. Like, you know, the last customer just bought what they want, and then, hey, can we help you with any? What can we get you?
So there's no one left to gossip, like, inside the shop?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Perhaps you might not know me. I am Song of the Red House.
Oh.
We are looking to acquire some additional pastries and
We can do that.
dumplings.
And she, like, this girl, kind of young girl, about like early 20s, provides you with like a piece of paper, kind of like a menu, and like a pencil, kind of like to kind of check off what you, and please just mark what you need. and we'll get that ready to you.
Tong will adapt a very different persona now. She'll lean up against the counter, kind of flip her hair, like elbow on the counter as well, and essentially just start being very, very talkative and talk about, oh, the decor, it's so lovely. How long has this place been here? Oh, I should
Yeah.
bring my clients here sometime.
Yes,
And
this,
essentially not even picking up the pencil.
Yeah,
Like,
and they start to talk back, like, and they start to respond to your question. Like, oh, we've been here for about like 20, 30 years already. You know, all the decor is actually representative of our family. Yeah, this is a family-owned business.
oh, I don't recognize the... Is that a bird? Oh,
Yes, yes.
where's your family from?
Oh, we're from the north. We came here, you know, a few a few generations back, and you know, we were poor, and you know, my grandfather used to just sell buns on the street, and then it became like it became a little busy, so the family pitched in and helped out, and you know, all of us just got into the business except for our older brother. Our older brother chose to get into business more, and
Oh, what a noble story and beginnings.
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
politics.
And she
Oh,
kind of like gestures to the portrait.
we won't bother ourselves with such a topic.
Yeah, I am not much of a big fan of it, but yes, she gestures to the portrait, showing you their family.
Hmm.
Like,
Tong will
that's
like
it.
politely look at it, but then look away, disinterested, and we'll actually try to hone in on this person. This is an adult.
Young adult, like
Young
around
adult.
20, early 20s.
Okay. She'll essentially try to navigate a conversation where she's trying to learn more personal information about this person, clearly related to my master. But we'll try to figure out if maybe this is supposed to be a secret, and like how close she is to her brother, like what kind of things that like they went through to travel here, make up some story about that she's from someplace east and had to travel a long while,
Yeah.
and just essentially just probing for information.
Roll me a charisma check.
Okay. Which is really funny because I have a +0. Could I do deception?
Sure.
Okay. Jeez. Do I have a reroll?
Oh my god, yeah, you should.
Yeah, you just got one.
My rolls
Yeah, I
have
think
been atrocious.
I know, what's this?
15.
15. They tell you about their brother. Like, they tell you that their brother got into, you know, politics, and you know, like they tell you about like how it was hard for them to, you know, leave the family business, and now he's quite successful. And yeah, like you notice that she's talking about your master, that you know, he chose to go with a different name to protect like the connection family, like stuff like that. And yeah, they seem to be estranged based on what you know. She mentions like, I do miss him. I miss my older brother, but he's doing better for himself.
How long has it been since you've seen him? Oh, get me one of those.
Oh yeah.
The red
And
bean is my favorite.
she puts like a bun in a kind of like parchment bag, and it's like about maybe 15 now.
Oh, that's so sad.
He stops by from time to time, but he makes sure that seems official.
Of course. I want to get mixed up in that business. People talk, you know.
Exactly.
It is essentially just going to kind of drag this out and, oh, what's your favorite? Oh, what does this one taste like? Can I take a sample and just drag it out so that Hoshiro can do whatever he needs to do with his rat? And it's just going to waste time.
And with your rat going around, this bakery is connected to it. And as the rat runs around, you get into rooms, and they look very mundane until you get to an attic. And this attic has a bunch of boxes. Roll me an investigation.
Oh God, rat. What's your investigation? Rat Zensho has an intelligence of -4. Cool.
Oh yeah, we love a dumb investigator.
Listen, familiars, famously good investigators. Oh, okay. I think this is gonna be. You know what? I'm gonna use one of those rerolls. Yeah, okay. It's a 9 total. Got a
9 total?
-4. He's doing his best. Yeah.
Searching around, you notice that the rat finds itself in a bunch of scrolls, a bunch of letters. And you notice, because you can see through your rat's eyes, these are unsent letters of basically Fei Long, we miss you. I know that the work is hard, but remember that you have family here. One of it says, your aspirations are great, but remember where you came from. And that's what you And as your rat can't find much more, it runs down and it notices, like, one of the rooms, there is a picture of an older Dylan compared to the one downstairs. Getting sworn in as a member of house that they reside in. And your rat heads out, and that's leaning.
Yeah, I think Hoshiro receives all of that, and is just like planted himself somewhere, kind of inconspicuously as best as he can, looking like he's just kind of drying and maybe lightly sunning himself. And then the rat just returns and goes underneath his kimono and then vanishes, and the tattoo reappears on his neck. And then he looks towards the bakery, and again Song gets this message in their head. It's finished. I don't think your mentor is here anymore.
With that, Song will just sort of find a natural closing of the conversation, take a few more minutes so that it doesn't feel awkward and disjointed, and will essentially say, please put this order in for the Red House, but I will take one of the red bean buns to go and also one of the matcha ones.
Of course. She gets your order ready, and she gives it to you. And as you pay, she pays you no mind. She appreciates
Tip very generously.
She appreciates that, and after that, she pays you no mind, and you do notice that she just looks. It seems that you have opened some memories in some old books. And she, under her breath, just says, I hope it's worth it.
Song will pretend she didn't hear it and just gently glide out of the bakery.
Yeah. Two of you convene again outside of.
Song will hand you the matcha bun.
Oh yeah.
Without even asking if this is the one you want, just gives it to you.
And he receives it like you've seen him gratefully receive, tea and all kinds of other things, and he very gratefully receives this. And there's a tiny boyish smile at the corner of his lips as he does.
The two of you head over to the residence of Councilman.
Yeah.
It is a traditional, I would say, in our sense, like Chinese, like style house. Red gate, bright red roof. You see that there is a guard there, one of the regular guard. And they say, state your business.
We have urgent things to discuss with Councilman Orochi.
Okay. And you see him kind of concentrate, as if he's sending a message to someone inside, just like the rest of you. Can I get your names, please?
We are... And you can see that Hoshiro is struggling to, use his name. It is uncomfortable at minimum. I'm Hoshiro. And this is Song.
He holds his temple again and casts a message. He says, please, and opens the door for you.
Glides through.
I think, Hoshiro is always conscious that next to him is a resplendent otherworldly being and just lets them take the spotlight as he is much more comfortable in the shadow.
You enter and you are greeted by this wonderful cobblestone small garden with very wonderful fauna. You have roots and everything is medicinal. And you get to the living quarters where you're greeted by one of their servants. Says, can we get you some tea? Refreshment?
Tea would be lovely, thank you.
Of course. They leave and replaces them as Councilman Orochi. He's still in his homeware, and he looks a lot more comfortable. So, thank you. Visit. How may I help you?
How is he looking? Last time we saw him, he was very weak and probably poisoned.
He is quite weak. He's still a little bit weaker, if anything. His eyes are more sunken. The area around them are darker. You see him having a handkerchief by his side. He does cough periodically.
Does his handkerchief happen to look like the handkerchief that we keep finding?
No.
Okay.
Yes, may I help you?
We come first with a strange question. Do you know where your seal is?
No. As a matter of fact, I was looking for it. I had paperwork to sign, sealed, so I had to sign some documents by hand. How did you know
How
it's
long?
missing?
How long, Councilman?
I just found out about this morning.
Do you know who might have access to your seal?
It's under lock and key in my desk, but my desk doesn't have any special keys. It's just by a regular carpenter. I have, and he shows you the key tied around his neck. I have the key over here, but I'm surprised if it opened by someone.
It's just a simple lock. You didn't put any other measures around it?
I've never considered putting any special measures. Maybe until now.
Whew.
How many people
Your-
are in service of your home?
About 5 that help me my daily tasks here. We have the cooking staff, which is about 3 people, and 2 guards.
And you trust them. You've checked into them.
Well, my son taken care of vetting the staff. Just my son. Son trusts them, therefore.
Do we know anything about his
Yeah,
son?
what do we know?
His son
what do we
was
know?
not-
What's the...
His son is famously not in politics.
Right.
What is he in?
History check.
Yeah.
Okay. Man.
18.
Yeah, I'll keep my history. Let's see. You know what? It's the finale. Let's go. Reroll.
Do it.
Oh, so much better. Wow. 23.
Okay. You know that his son is in journalism. Works for the paper. As a matter of fact, is the editor for it.
That's a very powerful position. Controlling information that goes out to the public.
This is true.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Where is your son now, Councilman?
I assume that he's at work.
Do you see him often, your son?
And that exasperated sigh is of a father that only sees their son basically when only they need something. And he's afraid to say, but he then opens. My son only sees me whenever it is beneficial.
Interesting.
He does not live here.
No, he left. Doesn't want to live under the same houses. And he says that he feels uncomfortable living in the roof where his mother died.
Ah,
An understandable discomfort.
It's been a while since she passed away. If anything, I wish that I meet the same fate, dying in sleep.
The last few days, has your son come to call?
Well, he did see me when the sovereign died. Talk to me about how I was doing. It was unusually caring of him.
Have you signed anything with your seal since then?
No, I haven't. A lot of paperwork has been on hold since the sovereign passed away. I decided to start work again today. Fortunately, I couldn't find my seal. I don't necessarily need it, but it does make things easier with the amount of paperwork that I have to sign.
Do we have it?
I think so. I don't see why the others would take it if we were going this way. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. From almost seemingly nowhere, Tong will produce the seal.
He tries to grab it, and he takes it from your hand, and you can feel how weak he is. This is... Where did
As
you
he's
find
reaching
it?
out, I want to look at his hand and see if he still has the powder like under his nails or any recent sign of like, is he still getting like poisoned?
His fingertips are close to, like, blue.
And it was like this the other day when we first saw him.
Well, this is more of a lack of oxygen kind of. And you start to see, I think within closer range and with your expertise, you notice that on his kind of like sleeve, there is a bit of powder. The same
Okay.
powder that you saw earlier. It seems that they don't notice these things. And it seems that it's harder for them to notice now how they're faring.
As Song passes over the seal, she is going to also reach for a paper in a satchel at her hip. She's going to try to take a sample of the poison.
Sleight of hand.
One moment. Okay.
Oh, you're just doing
I'm doing
it.
this overtly. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
it's
basically
okay.
grab their wrist and hold them still to collect a sample of it.
And they try to protest for you doing it, but he just can't. He physically can't.
And as I hold up the paper, I will show it to Hoshiro, showing that there's poison on him.
What is this? What are you doing?
Someone wishes you to join the sovereign in his fate.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
This... How long has this been on you? How long have you been wearing this robe? When was it last cleaned?
I put it on this morning. I don't do my cleaning. I ask my servants to clean for me.
I think
And
someone
you wear
in
this
your
every
home.
day?
Yes, of course I change my clothes every day. I bathe every day. What are you insinuating?
That someone knows your habits, knows you, and has been leaving this.
Trying to say that someone in my staff is trying to kill me?
Yes.
Well,
And he gingerly claps his hands. And you start to see the staff line up. Yes, sir. And he goes to the two of you. I need investigate. Look at them.
you should take that off.
And he starts to take off like the outer layer of what he's wearing.
Tong will move to help him essentially do it safely.
He expresses his gratitude, nods to you.
Meanwhile, Hoshiro walks towards the staff, says nothing, and this man with dead eyes just walks down the line of all of them, looking them head to toe, each and every one of them. And he's trying to see if any of them show any sign of craft other than the job that they have been hired to do here.
I think all of a sudden you see one start to bubble in the mouth, and he kneels down and he starts to convulse on the floor. His eyes roll to the back of his head.
Hoshiro stands over him, does not help him.
He's dead.
Tong will go to the others that remain and essentially like grab their wrists pretty forcefully and checking their hands, checking the folds of their clothes, trying to see if there's evidence on any of the other ones.
You don't find anything from the rest, but when you do see, something comes out of his mouth as the foam subsides. Looks like a crown. Fake tooth. The two of you notice this manner of death. This is something that people under you, lower, have been instructed to do before in the event that you are captured or found out. This could be a cyanide capsule.
Seems that perhaps we have found the individual. I would suggest, Councilman, that you reconsider your security.
All of you leave now. And the rest of the staff start to run out. The guards are my men. I can trust them. Whoever this is, to get to the bottom of it.
Yes. And Hoshiro reaches down, grabs the back of that dead person's clothes, and picks them up enough to drag them. I'll be taking this.
He just nods.
We will continue our investigations.
Please. And
Clean
he
all of your
starts to
clothes.
sit down, shaken by the event.
And Hoshiro drags the dead body of this person out the door and outside.
You see a bunch of people start to stare.
He lets them.
What do you do now?
Going to send a message to Nyuk. We should reconvene.
Perhaps it is best that you join us.
Where?
We'll summon a carriage and put it on the
Jeong Hwa's
commander's
tab, yeah.
bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking
And
the body
Hoshiro just
with
fully
us.
throws the dead body on the floor in the carriage. Yeah.
You're
yeah.
bringing the body.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The carriage brings you all, and the driver is like, I don't know about this dead body, but I'm not going to ask questions.
I wouldn't.
Tip them generously.
Yuck, you wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just gonna warn them that things would be tense.
We're weekend and Berniesing this.
The two of you get to this Western-style castle manor. The two people that were in front earlier just left their post. The door is wide open. You drag this dead body into this veranda. You see your two companions and Master Zhao, who is painfully rocking back and forth in his chair.
My enchanted longsword still kind of at his throat, and I'm drinking his tea. So nice of you to join us, the two of you.
3. And then Hoshiro throws the body on the floor.
Ah! Dead body! Dead body!
You need to shut up.
Song will literally walk over the corpse, like on the back, and then past them to sit down and help herself to some tea.
Without wanting to, Master Zhao has relieved themselves in front of you.
That's
He
natural.
starts to bawl and by this time, before anything, I'll let you guys share amongst yourselves what you have found out.
Hoshiro
And-
starts actually finally digging through this guy's clothes and seeing what prizes he's got to tell us about.
You see a container of powder, kind of like a salt shaker, with the powder
Mm.
that is that has been used to
Mm-hmm.
poison the councilman.
Is it safely sealed so that if he were to pick it up and shake it
Yes.
around, it wouldn't like throw poison everywhere? Great, he throws it at Nyuk.
It's not like airborne. Yeah.
And like he gives this poor sweet angel about 2 seconds to react when he says catch.
I attempt to catch it.
You catch it. I'm not gonna have you check for
All the
You know-
poison goes on the ground. We all die.
Yep, we all
Ah, the end.
Campaign over.
Nyuk. The poison is familiar to you by smell alone. This is the poison that you have been investigating since the start of this.
Being very aware that we have a outside party, does give everyone else like a knowing nod to confirm that this is the same poison.
To just reiterate, Fabian,
Mhm.
Zhao wanted to create an embassy with the settlers as a direct line of trade, which is why Orochi and Zhao had that big public outburst
Yes.
with each other. My suggestion, I wanted to know what specifically Zhao would have done to Orochi, or what he thought of him. Zhao thought that it would be better to get rid of him, and that Dilan would be a better suited leader.
Mm-hmm.
And that also Dilan is going to kill him because of the way that in fear,
Yes.
because of how Jeong Hwa has taken him hostage in his own home, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll relay that to the two of you. And also, is there something that I'm missing from that interaction, Fabian?
No.
Okay, just that.
Those are the important points.
Okay. I convey that. And what of this gentleman?
Well, he was our poisoner.
Unfortunately, we could not ask any questions. They took care of themselves.
He was installed in the home of Councilman Orochi.
You start to hear footsteps from the garden. A set of 2. And resting around the corner is Dylan and another gentleman. Before they get to you, you hear the end of the conversation. One of the companion of Dylan. My father, it's not gonna be. We should just move now. I can ask my person to up the dosage, and once he's gone, you can make your move. All you need to do is convince these 4 mules. And they are surprised to see the rest of you.
Hoshiro, the moment he hears voices, vanishes.
Sees the 3 of you.
Immediately gonna cast Entangle on the 2 of them.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
also gonna do something, but let's
You see
one thing.
you see the gentleman with Dylan gets entangled. And Dylan easily saves from it. Jeong Hwa, what did you...
How many hit points does it look like Master Zhao has?
2.
My enchanted weapon slits his throat.
Okay. Yeah, you want to do something before we move forward?
Um,
I love
All
how
this
moments
very
before you
serious-
said that,
What you do?
Sin is just like,
like, yeah, because I'm like, Nylt is going to just have her hand ready at her components pouch.
Okay. You see the entangled. What is this? Fuck. Oh, shit.
so instead of vines, there are these wisps of like black smoke that have come up off, like from beneath the robes of Song's wear, and they're just grabbing, twisting around the ankles of this individual here.
Yeah. And this guy is scared after seeing Master Zhao murdered. Dylan starts to clap his hands. Wonderful. So, just the 3 of you. Well, it's fine.
Not enough party for you.
Well, it just means that I might have an easier time. I guess we have been found out. What do you want to do? We can end this peacefully. If you want to hear me.
I want your head at the end of this blade.
Hoshiro stabs him in the back, appearing out of thin air.
Roll me your attack, please. At advantage.
From invisibility. Roll good. Jeez. It's a 21 to hit.
Okay. You hit.
And so the scimitar. Oh, 11 slashing damage.
Okay. As you hit him, he grunts in pain as he stumbles forward, and you see this fluid motion, and Song, you know that Master Dylan is a monk, and he ricochets back to you.
This
And
is gonna suck.
And hits you.
Okay.
We're going to roll this one.
Cool. This is how I die. It's been nice, everyone.
Does an 18 hit?
Shield. No.
Shield it. Okay, that really hits. 26.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay. Roll me a strength saving.
Oh God. Strength? Do we do that? That's not a real stat. Strength saving throw 17.
Okay. He punches first, and your shield deflects. And he sees your legs open, and he kicks one down, and you fall.
Oh.
You know that scene from Ip Man where he drums on this guy? He's gonna be doing that to you. So, okay. Okay, 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
22 misses.
Mm-hmm.
24.
That'll hit.
And natural 20.
That'll obviously hit.
Nice.
Good thing I went all the way up to full health just to lose it all. Haha.
So the first hit hits you for 9 damage. Second hit hits you for 6.
Mm-hmm.
Third hit hits you for 5. And then the crit hits you for 12. And I need you to roll me a 3 Constitution saving.
Boo. Okay.
Actually, just 1. Because the other 2 won't matter.
Well, I rolled all 3. The lowest one was a 19.
The lowest one was a 19. So you don't
Yeah,
die
I
on
rolled
the
2
spot.
18s and a 16. Yay, I'm not
Okay.
dead.
So you don't die on the spot. And as he sees that you're subdued, he just like goes up. Next.
Can we get some initiative going?
Yeah.
Can we get some...
Well, do you guys want to fight or do you want to talk to him?
We want to kill this guy.
Okay, roll
Well,
initiative.
I'll try something first, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to essentially just dash at him, and then I'm going to use all 4 of my attacks to try to stunning strike him.
Roll it.
Okay, so... Fuck. I haven't rolled, 26?
Okay.
Okay, stunning strike.
Okay.
Needs to roll 15 or
DC?
lower. 16.
Okay, that's a natural 1.
Okay, so he's stunned.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Damn.
You guys can do whatever now.
Oh, man.
Then because I have multi-attack, essentially what you see is Hong just flies across the room, tries to punch him, misses, and she wheels her leg around and kicks him in the throat, and it essentially will stun him for a moment. And then she will flip over his back and then begin to restrain him with no, she's gonna just break his wrists.
Okay.
Just straight up destroy his wrists. And then that's all I'm gonna do.
Roll me strength checks or dexterity checks, and I need you to hit a 19.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay. I've been rolling like shit, so do I have any
Let's
rerolls?
go, Stella. All the bad
Okay.
rolls were for this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Okay,
gotta get
there's
those out.
1.
Okay, 1
That's
wrist.
a 23.
Ooh.
You break 1.
I'm gonna re-roll that 16. It's a 20. I break both wrists.
Okay.
Yes.
And he starts to kneel down from the injury.
And I'll step away to let Yok and Jeong Hwa do whatever they want to him.
Elders first.
Mm-hmm. Jeong Hwa, the way that she fights, everyone had already seen that there is a lot of surprising amount of grace in between basically just using her sword like a battering ram. But what she kind of does, seeing Hoshiro take the brunt of it, Sung be so beautiful about, like, it literally takes it within seconds. He's paralyzed and his wrists are broken, and she's spent a good amount of time, honestly, however long, 10 minutes, just like waving a sword near his throat and drinking his tea. So she doesn't have to do too much. She has grave touch. Do I need to roll a ranged spell attack, or is it just gonna auto crit, or not auto crit, but like auto hit or something?
I mean, I might as well just auto hit because
Okay.
he is stunned.
Yeah. Okay. He's going to take 2d8 necrotic. It's probably, who knows what this does to this guy. He's going to take 8 necrotic. He won't be able to regain hit points until the
auto
start.
crit.
Oh, it's auto crit? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 8. That's 20 necrotic damage to him. And what she does essentially is, with the little verbal and somatic sigil with her big hand glows in an even greener purple mouth-formed sort of energy as she just sort of cups his face. And there is that sadistic warlord that is there. She turns her back to Nyuk specifically, just in case. You will not speak of my retinue poorly. When you have decided, you have left your fate to everyone in this room. Albayan will be pure and rid of you. And I want to just leave my mark on his face forever.
And you see the hand mark retain on his face. He lies back, still breathing. But he is unconscious. You see the gentleman with him still restrained, generally just afraid. What you would know, Song, is Dylan does not leave without any guards. And to Jeong Hwa, if there was any time that you needed help, you have a flare that you can call pretty much your guard to apprehend, prisoners, criminals.
Then we will be doing that swiftly.
Okay.
I call in my Steel Legion. Yeah.
As the flare comes out and a firework erupts, I think we will get to, for the sake of brevity, we'll get to pretty much the ending of this encounter. You start to learn with ease that Councilman Orochi's son confesses to the murders. But he is not alone in this endeavor. This was Dylan's idea. Councilman Orochi's son wanted more freedom, power, and believed the same way as Master Zhao. Using his connections, his trust from his father and from the sovereign. He infiltrated the housesteads with servants, ordered to poison the two men. The rest of you, the investigation has pretty much come to an end. We're going to go around the table and much ask what you guys want. Now that the council has no use anymore. I know the two of you wanted to vie for. We can do that. Is this still what?
Can I have a conversation with Hoshiro?
By all means.
And I think Sung and Nyok are absolutely in the room as like people are still filing in and out. I don't like you.
The feeling is mutual.
The people are still mourning their sovereign. And although I feel perfectly equipped to handle the next stages, I cannot say in confidence that that is what the people of Albayan need.
You wear the face of war.
You wear the face of shadows. Barely have a fucking face. They know me too well, and they know nothing of you.
That is by design. What can I do for you, Jeong Hwa?
The people of Albayan very well may need more time to mourn, and thus more time for the four of us to decide what sort of government this place will have, even temporarily.
I can agree to that. But can you trust me?
There's a beautiful heavenly person in this room that I have some aesthetic affection to, that I'm sure will make a lovely buffer between the two of us. And if I don't know if Jeong Hwa has ever said anything about her relationship to Nyuk at all.
Nope.
If my child has any love for you, then perhaps I can listen.
I hate you. Your wars, your rules, the laws that you hold, the way you do your affairs, and everything about the Steel Legion. It's a false prison of power. But I find that to be reliable. I will take your wager.
The day we can fight our wars with paper, then perhaps the Steel Legion can be made into something else.
There will always be a place in the world for swords.
Jeong Hwa, I want you to roll me persuasion or intimidation. And your
To
DC...
Hoshiro?
No, to the
Okay.
council. And your DC is going to be 19.
Reroll.
This is a roll that I can help with.
Sure, I'll give you advantage on.
We're using intimidation.
Okay.
Great, fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay, that's
Roll
gonna
with
be
an
a
iron
25.
fist. The council understands and knows your power, and your display of swiftness in terms of finding the culprit of the sovereign's death garnered a lot of respect among the council. They, whether it's by fear, by anger, by respect, they let you head the council, the Senate, along with your companions. You set out your rule the way that you... Song, what did you want to do now that this is over?
It has never been my intention to vie for power. I am, of course, a tool that has been refined to better work between the spaces that people in power cannot go. So I will continue my efforts to appeal to those who are in power. Fortunately, one visits me regularly, and the other, well, now I know that they have a child. And I think I'm on good terms with them. So I will apply my advantages where I can. And just like my master, perhaps, one day, know a little bit or a lot of things about everyone.
Yuck.
I sometimes will make time to come help with council stuff, but I think I'd really like to redouble my efforts, especially in poison. I think it's really fascinating and put more time and more of my research into creating tech that helps people and not just cuts jobs where I think they can just do better. And also give credit where credit is due. And just try to work my way up to be able to mentor other future little inventors.
With your passion for poisons, Celio admits that they were lacking and introduces you to a colleague of theirs, Dr. Trong, who is the woman that you notice in the picture. And they take Celio's stead in mentoring. They're much more stricter, a little reminiscent of your mother. But you do indeed learn. As an epilogue for all of you. You all get a call to the prison, the stockades. And in front of you is Dylan behind me. He casually, his face scarred. So, you have what you wanted. I want. You're gonna make the mistakes. People in your...
Usually, Hoshiro waits to hear what other people have to say, but there is a new boldness to him in this reinvented Albayan. And he steps forward. People like me have never been in this position. The world is different. I don't do this because I know everything. I do this because I have nothing. I am from a world destroyed by the wars that gave you power. I will do it differently because I care at all.
I can only hope to be dethroned by the next great leader, as I did to my father. Things change. And although I do not think that Nyok could kill me, in the same way that I killed my father, Nyok can valiantly provide something new. We will make mistakes. Just not yours.
And as you part ways with walk away from this cell, time to reign a new Alba is now. And as the sun sets, toast, we end our game.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us for our finale of Sun and Chains. Hope you guys had fun. My name is Fabian. I have been your game master. Thank you so much to you guys watching, also to Kobold Press and Hero Forge for helping us put this together. It was a wonderful ride. I had fun, and you can always find me here, Bad House RPG, on Tuesdays. And let's see where we can find our lovely players after this. Kai.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. You can find me all over the internet as Estelle of Imladris, and it has been an absolute treasure and joy to play at this table with all these wonderful people doing dark and weird and creepy things sometimes. You can find me every Saturday over on Transplanter RPG with the Chaos Protocol, and you can find me for off and on depending on when it is over on Happy Jacks RPG. But the other main place you can find me right now is over on my own Twitch channel at Estelle of Imladris, where I'm doing kind of a variety streaming, mostly talking about costuming and then playing some games and talking about world building and a bit here and there of both. And then very soon, announced today over with Tender Vision Studios, you can come and find me over at the new podcast dropping from Tender Vicious Studios called Lori's House. It is a home to remember actual play, which is a game that we wrote for this show. That is dropping March 27th, and I am there as the GM, the architect of the story. And it has been an absolute treasure and joy to go on that ride. So go check that out, and I'll see you all back here haunting Bad House RPG very, very soon. I absolutely promise.
Yeah. See them torture us in Midnight Rush as well.
Having way too much fun being terrible.
Sin.
Hello, hi again. My name is Sin. I use they them pronouns. You can find me all over the internet as sensationally.me. I am not currently on too many projects, but coming March 10th, I will be on Tales of Novum playing the God of Progress for a new show. And you can also hear really cool things I've written for a podcast called Air 313.
It's a good one. I've listened to several episodes. Hell yeah. Joe.
Hello, everybody. I have been Josephine, Scary Dog Friend, your dead Jeong Hwa, your sadistic warlord. You guys, 800 years of isolationism? Sound good? I'm just kidding.
Yikes. Hey.
We all did it together.
It was the isolation we made along the way.
Exactly. Obviously come back tomorrow for Ambrose's liminal horror thing. Our liminal horror grindhouse anniversary one shot. I'm on Midnight Rush, also on Slumber. Got podcasts out the wazoo. Follow me on Blue Sky at Scary Dog Friend for all the information and lots of new things on the way from Bad House RPG very soon.
Last but not least, Stella.
Hi, I'm Stella Luna on Twitch, stellalunaTV on all other social media. My TTRPG producer performer. I do a lot of this. The only things I really have to shout out are watch Midnight Rush. It's really hot and it gets better. I love that show. Please watch it so we can talk about it. And this Saturday on March 1st, premiering at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, is going to be our sponsored campaign of Undying Corruption over at twitch.tv/StellaLuna, which is a Korean 5e folklore adventure book. And we're going to be going through the first arc, so the first 3 chapters of the book. And I would love, 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 love to see you there. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. This was wonderful. Hopefully we can dive into fantasy again. But until then, yeah, catch our urban fantasy stuff. I've been Fabian, your producer / game master, and see you guys soon. Bye.